Hey, Bale, doesn't this seem to be a bit disrespectful to your coach? While many players love their managers, some, like Gareth over here, don't seem to share that love. In fact, here are a few players who hated their coaches. Number 1, Bale versus Zidane. Do Bale and Zidane have a little problem?
No lo sé. Hay que preguntarle a él directamente.
Gareth Bale won a lot of trophies playing for Zinedine Zidane. And the Welshman scored some incredible goals during that period too. But how would Bale describe the relationship with Zizou? I wouldn't say we were best mates. It was just a normal professional relationship. Bale and Zidane have always had a complicated relationship. Bale was allegedly a big fan of Zidane's predecessor, Rafa Benitez, because they spoke English together. Hey Zizou, how's your English?
¿Tú piensas que yo te voy a contestar eso? No voy a entrar en eso.
Well, that answers that. And now, the relationship has gone from so-so to so bad. Bale celebrated a win with his national team by holding up a flag that read Wales, Golf, Madrid in that order. And he was recently photographed with a mask over his eyes in the stands. Apparently the flag should have read Wales, Golf, Sleep, Madrid in that order. But Bale is one of the few players who doesn't love Zidane. And he was one of the few who preferred his predecessor. Unlike number 2, Ronaldo versus Benitez.
Yo siempre he respetado a mis entrenadores por donde ha pasado y siempre me quedo con las cosas buenas.
Ronaldo had many great coaches, but the one he couldn't stand was Rafa Benitez. Benitez was kind of screwed from the start. CR7 loved Ancelotti and was upset that Benitez would never say he was the best player in the world. Well, I've never said he is either, so maybe Ronaldo doesn't like me either.
Hay cosas en la vida que no merecen comentarios.
Yeah, I don't care. There's rumors Ronnie even gave Real Madrid's president an ultimatum. Either fire Benitez or I leave. Sounds mean, Ronnie.
Conciencia tranquila, hermano.
Well, we all know what happened next. But the player doesn't always win. Number 3, Zlatan and others versus Pep. If you've seen Football's Greatest Rivalries, Episode 1, then you already know this story.
Just watch the game and it says everything.
But Zlatan isn't the only player who hated Pep. Is it, Pep?
I don't know.
Eto'o and Yaya Toure also had a problem with the bald Barcelonian. In fact, Toure even accused Pep of having problems with Africans wherever he goes. And speaking of coaches who have trouble with players, number 4, Mesut Özil versus Unai Emery. Look, Özil seems to have struggled under 3 straight Arsenal coaches now. But there's no doubt that Unai Emery really was a problem for the German with the golden eyes. Özil went from the first name on the Arsenal team sheet under Wenger to a player sometimes left out of the squad altogether. What happened? The tension between Özil and Emery was so bad that Özil once even cursed at his coach after being subbed off in a game. And Özil wasn't Emery's only mismanaged skill player. Hatem Ben Arfa also really disliked Mr. Emery. But few hatreds exploded the way this next one did. Number 5, Nicolas Anelka versus Raymond Domenech. The story of France's 2010 World Cup is still one of the most intriguing in football history. Everyone knew, after the disaster of Euro 2008, that France coach Domenech was a clown. No, he didn't dress up in white face paint and throw pies, but I did get nightmares every time I saw him on TV. For some reason, though, Domenech kept his job going into 2010. But in the first match, Anelka was already tired of his coach and let him know it. Anelka exchanged some fiery words with Domenech and was sent home from the World Cup. The rest of the team boycotted training, so they must have really not liked Domenech either. And speaking of team revolts, number 6, Sergio Ramos and Casillas versus Mourinho. Look, a lot of people didn't like Mourinho when he was at Madrid. Sergio Ramos was probably just the most vocal of them.
No sé si estará mosqueado o no.
But Casillas also had big problems with old Jose, as the Portuguese manager effectively ended San Iker's career in Madrid. I mean, let's be honest, Mo's had problems with at least one player everywhere he goes. Pogba, anyone? Ramos denies it, but he also allegedly gave the president an ultimatum. Man, the Real Madrid presidents must get a lot of ultimatums. Anyway, Mourinho left, as did Casillas eventually, but Ramos is still there and still club captain. There are many more players who really hated their coaches. Even Beckham and Keane had problems with a legend like Sir Alex. Rooney and David Moyes had a really poor relationship. Have we forgotten any?